Hi everyone, welcome to From Shambles to Shambhala. Today actually is September the 29th, which in the Christian calendar is the day that Archangel Michael is revered. It is called Michaelmas Day, and it has some very significant impacts at this time of year as we move into fall. There are many mythologies around this particular day. So I do know that the Archangel Michael is real and is present and is here to support us. He is the angel of protection for children. But even if you are an adult now, if you feel threatened in any way, shape or form, just call in the Archangel Michael and the legions of light to offer you safety and support and protection. And it will come. And it will come in some mysterious ways sometimes. We are in the landscape of Libra here, where we are, and it's the balancing of the scales. We've just moved through the Equinox, which is all about the balance point between the extremes. It's when the sun crosses the equator in the northern hemisphere. It is when we come into this beginning of the darkening of the light. So the two extremes of light and dark come into perfect balance, the masculine and feminine, the black and the white, the right and the wrong. And our job at this time is to find this balance point in our lives. Where am I in balance and where am I out of balance? And that's what this particular period is about. And that will be ongoing right through the month of October. I just want to pop back for a bit to the full moon, total lunar eclipse that took place back on September 17th. Because there was a very powerful energy in the sky that day, which is worth knowing about. In astrological terms, it's called a kite. And if you can imagine an old-fashioned kite, and coming down to where you're holding the string at the bottom, we had the Sun and Mercury conjunct in Virgo, forming a grand trine with Pluto in Capricorn and Uranus in Taurus. All earth signs. So this was an earth grand trine. So this was the earthing energy holding us in this solid grounded space, because the top of the kite also included Pluto and Uranus, but now they were in a 60-degree angle with Neptune and the lunar eclipse right at the apex of the kite. So let's have this image of the kite straining to break free and flowing and moving towards the light, wanting to levitate, to escape. And at the same time, the Sun and Mercury in Virgo were saying, no, we're staying fully grounded here in the garden. So the positive side to it was we were given the opportunity to be fully grounded to the earth while we also stretched ourselves up into our higher consciousness. And since that date, I've had a number of sessions now where clearly there is a spaciousness being created within us, such that when you're prepared to go into that space, then you can very quickly and spontaneously cover the shadow frequencies that we are now trying to transmute once and for all. Then we moved into the equinox, and now this week on Wednesday, October the 2nd, we have an annular solar eclipse. This is when the moon doesn't quite cover the sun, so there's a ring of fire around the sun. We're not going to see it here, but the most significant piece of land where it will cross is Easter Island, right in the middle of the ocean with nothing else around it. And that's where they have those very famous heads on Easter Island. And now it's been revealed that in fact those heads have bodies. So as this eclipse takes place over Easter Island, it's about the revealing in the underworld. It's the recognition that we need to get out of our heads and down into our bodies. So this eclipse will be taking place at 10 degrees of Libra with the sun and moon together. And amazingly, they are conjunct the asteroid Makemake. And Makemake is the creator god of the Easter Islands. I mean, it's just amazing that this synchronicity is taking place. So the creator god is about the god of fertility creating something new. And so this solar eclipse is inviting us to really see the bigger vision for what we truly want for ourselves, for our family, for our friends, for our community, for humanity itself, and for Mother Earth. Apparently on Easter Island there's a special chemical in the soil that means that it rejuvenates and recovers very quickly from when it's been raped and pillaged, which is what happened in the 1800s with the Dutch and the Spanish coming through and turning it into a Catholic society. And then from there it re-emerged. The land itself became rich and fertile. So we're being given the message that this solar eclipse is creating this regenerative opportunity for us. Now there's another grand trine taking place now in the water signs, with Venus now in Scorpio, Mars in Cancer, and Neptune still in Pisces. So this is saying to us, Venus, the feminine, is wanting to dig deep into our emotional body. Mars in Cancer is all about the family and recognizing what we need to do in our families to resolve those old family issues, to step into this new Earth energy, with Neptune in Pisces still getting us to stretch up to the higher realms, to the higher consciousness. So that's the energy of this solar eclipse. So really good idea to look deeply into yourself to see where there are still any emotional issues to be resolved. Because on that day, the gene key involved is the 48th gene key. And the 48th gene key is the gene key that looks into our age 8 to 14 when our emotional body was developing. So it's a good idea then around this time, it can be a little bit before, a little bit afterwards, to take a deep dive into your childhood during those years 8 to 14. And the 48th gene key describes for everyone this time where we are moving away from our nuclear family, connecting more and more with our friends and our peer group, and that can be wonderful and it can be challenging. Then we move into puberty and we're having all these internal changes take place. And the big question becomes, can I cope with what's coming next? And I don't know what it is. The shadow is inadequacy. So we take a deep dive now into our emotional body to see if there's any residual uncertainty about the future. Is there an aspect of me that's worried about what the future is going to bring? The gift is resourcefulness. So what you've actually done, whatever has happened in your life, is you've gained a whole toolbox of resources to help you cope. And the key word is trust. Trusting your own ability to cope with whatever shows up next, your competence, your confidence, and having a deep and profound trust in the universal life force that it is on your side. And ultimately this gene key leads to wisdom. It's the feminine wisdom of the elder who has got this very solid, grounded equanimity of holding this sacred space in calm, peaceful approach. And I'll just mention on the next full moon, so this is the next full moon in October the 17th, where it's another grand cross where we've got really powerful energies because of the planets involved. So the sun will still be in Libra, the moon will be in the opposite sign of Aries, and at right angles to that we will have still Mars in Cancer and Pluto in Capricorn. So this is a really powerful energy. It's just after Pluto has gone direct and will be in Capricorn for the last time until November the 19th for 250 years. So there's likely to be some action in the world, particularly around those attempting to trap us and control us. And we now know that their game is over and we can now follow our truth into the future. There's so much media stuff coming out now on all the regular media and the alternative media. It's very hard to know what the truth is. The only place where we know absolute truth is inside ourselves, in our core being. And being out in nature as we are today in this beautiful landscape of Libra, and trusting ourselves, and trusting Mother Earth, being in full alignment with her. It's going to be a very interesting, intense and active month for us to navigate through. So it's about being calm and peaceful and holding to our own inner truth and knowing, and doing that deep inner work with that higher vision of what we really want for ourselves in the future. So I wish you well. Hope you have a great month. Many blessings.